Rather lads, welcome back to Kossi's Arsenal podcast. My name is Kossi. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. Welcome back to another starting lineup. Welcome back to another preview. We take on Aston Villa. It is a midweek clash, March day 5. We are looking to go 15 points out of possible 15, 5 wins out of 5 games. So can we do it? We're going to be diving into my prediction. We're going to be diving into the starting lineup that I think will appear. But let's get off with the team news. Mohamed Elneny and Thomas Partey are likely not to feature in this game. Now, Mohamed Elneny today is waiting for results from a scan that will tell us how long he's going to be out for. As a result of a hamstring injury, which he actually picked up against Fulham. But it doesn't look very good. It doesn't look very good for Mohamed Elneny, with reports from The Athletic confirming that he's going to be out for some substantial period of time. Now, Thomas Partey, on the other hand, according to Goal.com and Charles Watts, they're saying there are positive signs of Thomas Partey's recovery. Whether he will be available for Aston Villa or not, we do not know yet because he was not very close to coming back during the weekend. Zinchenko was the only guy closer to coming back. And we expect Alexander Zinchenko to make his return in this game. I also expect a couple of rotations, in this game because we have Manchester United over the weekend. So I don't think Mikel Arteta will go. I want to use the same lineup throughout the week because you have 3 games in a space of 9 days. So literally, you need to change your squad at least here and there. So we're going to be diving into the changes that I think we should make and also my prediction. But in terms of team news, Mohamed Elneny is ruled out for this one completely. You will not see him even in the matchday squad. Alexander Zinchenko could make it to the matchday squad. He's not yet fully fit, but I still hope he will start in that game. Now, Thomas Partey is the worry because we do not have a defensive midfielder. Literally, if there is any simple chance of playing Thomas Partey, then I think Mikel Arteta will actually take it. Because, look, it's a game where you might underrate Aston Villa because they've had a bad start, and I think they're also under the wrong managerial regime under Steven Gerrard. But I think they're a scary side. They do have a lot of quality, especially in the middle of the park. Coutinho, Douglas Luiz, Kamara, and the likes. So team news: don't expect Elneny. We are waiting for Thomas Partey and the last, latest news to see whether he will make it to the squad. And Alexander Zinchenko is okay. Whether he will make it to the match day starting lineup, that will depend on Mikel Arteta. Hit the like button for me. Let's get this video to 1,000 likes. Yeah, let's get it there. Now, my prediction in this one is quite good. It's going to be very similar to what I predicted for Fulham. Remember when I talked about the Fulham game, I said Fulham will give it a go. Fulham will try to do anything they can, despite the fact that we were at the Emirates Stadium. And it really happened. Fulham really gave it a go. Yeah, at times it looked like a one-bent game where Arsenal were really pounding and pouncing on Fulham. But in the end, they grabbed a goal through Mitrovic, and their hopes of winning the game were actually at some point in time 60%, according to Opta, the calculating machine for the winning probability of the Premier League. So this is going to be very similar. My problem with Aston Villa this season is literally they're offering nothing. They're offering, okay, I should say not nothing, but they're performing so below average. And I'm not trying to say that they should perform against Arsenal, but I just fear for them. I just fear for Gerrard, and I just fear for the team. They have a lot of quality. If you look at the likes of Luca Digne, Coutinho, Oli Watkins, Daniel Ings, they have so many good players there. But why are they underperforming? I really don't know. But make no mistake, they're one of the clubs that have won more times in the recent 11 appearances at the Emirates Stadium, apart from Chelsea and Manchester City. So they've won 4 of their last 10 games visiting at the Emirates Stadium, and the only other 2 clubs to win more at the Emirates Stadium visiting there are Manchester City and Chelsea. So you understand what I'm talking about. I think they will give us a hard time. It is a midfield battle, so they're very good in in the midfield. They have a lot of quality. They will be the opposite of Fulham and Bournemouth, because literally Fulham gave us the midfield, Bournemouth gave us the midfield as well. This time it is going to be a matter of fighting for who dominates the midfield, and even when we dominate it, it will not be over, because I think their defensive line is also quite stronger than that of Bournemouth and Fulham as well. So I'm gonna go Arsenal 3, Aston Villa 1. The reason is this fixture in the last 10 appearances has produced 3+ goals consecutively. So in the last 10 games, Aston Villa has not failed to make it 3 goals in a single game for 10 consecutive games. The only other clash to give us more goals per 90 has been Manchester City, Newcastle. 3+, 10 consecutive games. But I think this one will go into an over. So if anyone is fancies placing a bet, this will be an over where probably Aston Villa could score 1 and Arsenal 3. So Arsenal 3, Aston Villa 1. If Thomas Partey makes it to this game, it is going to be way too easier than anyone is actually going to imagine. Let's get to the predicted lineup. Make sure you're hitting that like button. Let's get this video to 1,000 likes. Now, the predicted lineup, I thought about a couple of changes, and I think they're necessary. They are absolutely necessary. Some of them are even unavoidable. For example, because we're making changes to the last lineup that we saw in the Fulham Arsenal London derby recently. So in goal, I will go with Aaron Ramsdale. Of course, that is a constant now. Ramsdale is going to be in goal always and always. I think he didn't make any mistakes in the Fulham game. He was not really exposed in the last 2 games that we played, Fulham and Bournemouth. And I think he will be very, very mad at Gabriel Magalhaes, because, that is cancelling your goalkeeper's clean sheet. Fulham at the Emirates, Bournemouth, home and away, those are your goalkeeper's clean sheets, right? So Ramsdale for me stays in goal. Absolutely brilliant goalkeeper, and I think he should be our goalkeeper 38 games this campaign, unless we win the league early. For example, 35 games and we've won the league. The last 3 games can go to Mark Turner, right? So centre back, I will go with Gabriel Magalhaes. Of course, I like the way Mikel Arteta talked about Gabriel, and he said it is not about making the mistake. The mistake is avoidable and it should not happen in the first place. But it's not all about that. So you don't talk about the mistake Sunday to Monday, Monday to Sunday, Saturday to Friday. You get over it. And I think that is what Gabriel did. And what attracted me to this guy is he got over. If you're in a relationship with such a guy, you might be very scared, because the guy really takes a little time to heal. A few seconds, the guy has already gone back to playing well, and he's poaching for goals, and he scored 1, and it was a winner, 3 points from Gabriel Magalhaes. So Gabriel, important part of that defense, is also one of in the past 3 seasons in the Premier League, there is no other centre-back that has scored more goals than Gabriel Magalhaes, 6. The other defenders, including Virgil van Dijk, have scored 4. I don't remember the others who have scored 3, respectively. So I think Gabriel needs to be in that, in that defense. We've talked about it. If he can right the wrongs he's making, if he can write off those mistakes per 90, he's going to be a wonderful centre back. He's a wonderful centre back already. Gabriel Magalhaes, my centre back. Now, of course, pairing is William Saliba, brilliant as well in the Fulham game. I think as we go into the Aston Villa game, it's going to be quite a tricky one. Without a natural defensive midfielder, you will feel they will be onto us. The likes of Philippe Coutinho, the likes of Jacob Ramsey, the likes of Joe McGinn. They will be onto us, and they will try to create situations and problems. But also remember, Steven Gerrard is using a I was gonna say double pivot. It's not a double pivot. It is called It's using two strikers up top. I don't remember how is that called. Two center forwards. How is that called? Can't recall. So it's using two strikers up top, Ollie Watkins and Danny Ings. Literally, that means Gabriel Magalhaes will have to deal with Danny Ings or Ollie Watkins, and then William Saliba will have to deal with with a partner to either Ollie Watkins or Danny Ings, and that is going to be a problem. That means that both of our centre backs are going to be 100% occupied throughout the 90 minutes, unless Mikel Arteta thinks of something outside the box. But still, I will play William Saliba because I think he's intelligent, he's quick, he's fast, he's strong. He can't deal with Ollie Watkins because the scare with Ollie Watkins is his pace, how quick he is, and he's not a very clinical finisher like I thought, by the way. Ollie, you disappointed me. But one thing you're sure about is he will take some chances in that penalty area. So you don't want to let him lose. And he's one player very good at running off the shoulder. So I think William Saliba should deal with Ollie Watkins. Then when it comes to Danny Ings, he's a bully. I was watching that goal he scored against Everton, right? Last weekend, but one. And that's stop that, Danny. Stop him. Because he's literally bullying the Everton defense, sliding them from one side to the other side. And when they can't keep up, he takes a shot with absolute power. Jordan Pickford has no chance. And I think that is what they're going to try to do. They will try to get Danny Ings to bully our defenders as Ollie Watkins runs off the shoulder with the likes of Leon Bailey and Emi Buendia. So we need to be very, very alert in that game. But that centre-back pairing has so far done so well. Now let's get to the fullbacks. Alexander Zinchenko and Kieran Tierney. I mean, I would really want to go with Kieran Tierney, but I think it is going to be one in the midfield, right? I mean, it doesn't matter if if Steven Gerrard plays two strikers and if they don't get service, it doesn't matter. So it is going to be one in the midfield. We've seen how they play. They're reliant on Coutinho. They're reliant on Jacob Ramsey. They are reliant on Kamara. They're reliant on John McGinn. Stop their whatever they are cooking in midfield. Stop it now. And how you do that is by adding an extra man to your midfield. We play a midfield three of Odegaard, Xhaka, and Partey. If you add Alexander Zinchenko there, you've already created an overload. Because I think they also play a midfield four. Actually, they play midfield four with Coutinho, Jacob Ramsey, Joe McGinn, and Kamara. They play a midfield four. So playing one of our fullbacks in midfield literally means that we will match in number. And that means that the likes of Saka, Gabriel Jesus, who literally drops a lot into midfield, will help us create overloads by dropping into midfield. I love that. I love the sound of that because we will overwhelm Aston Villa. So Zinchenko starts for me ahead of Kieran Tierney. Tierney's role in this game would be probably in the 70th minute when Arsenal are 2-0 up and you come in to bring in those, crosses, try to, pace the game and also try to bring that defensive solidarity or solidity that actually will be needed for the last 20 minutes of the game. But I'm going to go Alexander Zinchenko. Right back. Is it Tomiyasu or Benjamin White? I think I've talked about rotation and this is where it comes in. I will go for Takehiro Tomiyasu. Let's go with Takehiro Tomiyasu. Because with Tommy, you're having a player that is strong defensively, fresh, it's not played so many minutes, but also someone who is more kind of natural in that role as compared to Benjamin White. Now, why I'm scared for Benjamin White is Ollie Watkins will be dashing in that area. Filippo Coutinho will be playing there. Jacob Ramsey will be playing there. And when Leon Bailey comes on, they will be targeting Ben White. Make no mistake, Ben has done very well in the opening fixtures, but we are playing Aston Villa. They have the minerals, they have the quality to punish. So for me, Takehiro Tomiyasu, fresh, fit, play him. I mean, you can bring back Ben White, over the weekend if you want. Which I would definitely advise against, because Man United have acquired a dangerous weapon in Anthony. In my opinion, Ben White should drop to the bench. I know he helps us in that formation of back three, which actually does very well, but he's not even doing that because he's been playing very, very high up the pitch. So Tomiyasu, in my opinion, should start on Wednesday. Let's get to the midfield, where we don't have a defensive midfielder. So do we skip that? I'm not really sure, guys. I mean, make suggestions there. Help me make suggestions. What should we do with that central midfield, with that defensive midfield role, with that holding role? Thomas Partey, unlikely. El Neni, ruled out. Albert Sambi-Lokonga, is he the guy to play in a single pivot against Aston Villa? No. Definitely no. But of course, we know that Partey has a recurring injury. If you force him onto the pitch, when he's not 100% ready, you're risking him to miss the Man United game, which I don't even want. I don't want to miss one key member of that starting 11 when I'm playing Man United. So what do? Do we change formation? Because we've been predominantly we're lining up in a 4-2-3-1 system, but we are playing a 3-4-3 in possession, right? So is this when Lokonga comes in? Is this where Lokonga comes in? Quite baffled. I'm not going to play Albert Sambi-Lokonga, guys. I will not play Albert Sambi-Lokonga. No. So in midfield, I'm going to go with Granit Xhaka first and foremost in that defensive role. Xhaka has been the most improved Arsenal player ever since Mikel Arteta joined this club. Agree with me? Thank you. Disagree with me? In the comment section. Tell me why. I think, and that's why no one thinks of Xhaka leaving now. He's really improved a lot. He's added a lot of quality to his game. But the question is, because he has shifted from that double pivot role, and then he has moved higher up the pitch, we have seen him perform very, very well. But the question is, can he also do it for Mikel? Because this is Jordan Henderson. This is typical Milner, stuff with Klopp. Xhaka is a Mikel Arteta man. These are players that play wherever the manager tells them. They're playing for the manager. They're not playing for anyone else. They're playing for the manager. And I think Mikel Arteta has not been disappointed by Granit Xhaka and the trust he's put in him. So I'm going to say Xhaka in that pivot, right? Alone. Don't change the system. Play Xhaka in a single pivot. Alongside him is Fabio Vieira to the left. We need to see this boy, guys. We need to see this boy, and we need to see what he offers. I like the idea of Gundogan and Bernardo Silva at Manchester City. And if it were to have around 4 players in my FPL, I'd have 4 Arsenal players and 4 Manchester City players in my FPL. Because you need Bernardo Silva, you need Ike Gundogan. And Fabio Vieira is that small Bernardo Silva guy. When you play him in that, central midfield role, you're asking him to drive the ball at a terrific speed into the final third of your opponent. You're asking him to help you in transition. He can't do that. He definitely can't do that and do it better than Xhaka. This will help us in 2 ways. One, we are talking about Granit Xhaka getting a little bit deeper to where we are used him to play, but also a debut for Fabio Vieira. And we want to see what is it like to have a midfield of 2 attacking midfielders that are born attacking midfielders and 3 forwards. What is it like? Liverpool do it, Manchester City do it, and they score many goals. Can we do the same? Because look, this game is going to be an end-to-end. When Aston don't have a defensive midfielder, it will be an end-to-end game. So can we score as many more than Aston Villa? That is going to be the question. So Fabio Vieira in the team as well. And then Martin Odegaard, captain, fantastic. Had a brilliant game. Had a brilliant game against Fulham. And he has earned me, okay, I'm bragging here. He's earned me 16 and 10, that is 26 FPL points so far in the last 2 game weeks. My captain, right? And he's my captain in FPL as well now, officially. I announced in a press conference yesterday. So listen to these guys. Odegaard has to create the chances. The burden is always going to be on him now. He has to create the chances. There is no other player we are going to look up to. Look, the likes of Bernardo Silva and Gundogan will create all the chances in the world. If Kevin De Bruyne doesn't make the assists, no one mentions Manchester City. So it is Odegaard. And I know he's going to have a brilliant game. He's still at the Emirates Stadium. Now, on the front three, it is very clear. On the left, I will go with Gabriel Martinelli. There have been reports of an injury. I will confirm that Gabriel Martinelli has not suffered from any injury. And he is available, according to the latest information I have. So Martinelli plays on the left. And the requirement for each man on that front three, on that forward three, is expose Aston Villa. They have lost Diego Carlos to injury. They're likely to play Tyrone Mings and Ezra Konsa, and they're very poor in set piece situations. Haven't I told you everything you need to know about beating Aston Villa? Use the set pieces. However much Konsa and Tyrone Mings are very tall, they're rubbish in the air. And also, those passes that break the lines, they will break them down. So Gabriel Martinelli needs to go. Needs to score. I've added him in my FPL this week, and I'm also going to use him in my FPL next weekend against Man United. I hope it doesn't disappoint because I'm very good at sacking players as a manager. So Gabriel Martinelli there on the left, Saka on the right. I said he needs some rest, but Saka on the right. Look, it is now more unlikely that Arsenal will sign a winger. The latest reports, at least that I can confirm of, are saying that Arsenal will try as much as they can to add a midfielder to their ranks this summer, especially in the dying days. It doesn't show anywhere that we are very close or that we are trying to sign another winger. Our hopes of signing a winger, including Mikhailo Modric. Of course, I'm looking at here, according to Rudy Galetti, that talks are ongoing between Arsenal and Shakhtar for Mikhailo Modric. But the focus is now on a midfielder. And if we don't get a winger, we need Saka to boil up. We need Saka to raise to those occasions. If he can get us 15 goals, Martinelli, 15 goals. Gabriel Jesus, 22 goals. Odegaard, 10 goals. Fabio Vieira, 8. Xhaka, 2. Partey, 1. You add those goals. Zinchenko, 2. You add all those goals. You win the league. Honestly, I think you don't win the league, honestly. But I think you make it to the top 4, okay? Which should be our realistic stop at the moment. So I'm going to say this. Saka needs to raise his standards. Yes, he needs some time to rest, but I think now, especially when he's not doing well, is not the time to rotate him. Okay, play him until when he gets on fire, and that is when you can start, interchanging him with with another player. Of course, up top, I've seen suggestions of Edin Ketia starting. Have I heard you well? I said Edin Ketia played well. Created a massive impact in that game. I didn't say Edin Ketia scored. Guys, come on. Nketiah's finishing is lethargic. Nketiah's finishing is sick. Nketiah's finishing needs finishing. It needs final touches. And I'm not having that. I'm not having any of those discussions about Edin Ketia. I'm gonna go with Gabriel Jesus up top. Mind number 9. Come on, score goals. Come on, guys. I mean, Gabriel Jesus, score some goals. I have you in my FPL team, bro. You need to score some goals. Right? I need the goals. Likes of Haaland scoring hat-tricks. And I just feel like we've not created enough for Gabriel Jesus. I don't know what you people think. I think he's not getting through on goal. enough. And that's why I'm asking for Fabio Vieira. One more chances from that Arsenal side. So that is my starting lineup. My prediction is a 3-1 in favor of Arsenal. Now the scare for Arsenal in this game is going to be without a defensive midfielder. If Thomas Partey can make it to the final, lineup, brilliant. We just need Thomas Partey to be half fit for us to beat Aston Villa 3-1 or 3-0. We just need him to be half fit. But if you don't have a defensive midfielder, they will rip through our midfield. They are very, very, quality players. They will run, and they always run. Coutinho is a quality number 10. You have Joe McGinn, who's a very quality ball player as well, and a couple of other players. I don't know what Steven Gerrard is going to go for, because he lost the game against Crystal Palace over the weekend. What was the result? Was it Crystal Palace? Yeah, it was Palace, wasn't it? And then he lost the opening game against Bournemouth, right? So pressure is piling on. Yes, he's beaten Everton 2-1, but that is not enough. And one thing we know about this Aston Villa side is they concede goals. They will concede. That is a guarantee. So look, Arsenal also do concede, but it's not a guarantee that we'll concede every game. That back line is becoming better and better. So in my opinion, I think Arsenal will win this one. Villa will leak goals, and Arsenal will take advantage. We have a very good record against them. Of course, coming at the Emirates Stadium, winning 4 out of their last 10 is absolutely marvelous. But you also have to consider the last time they genuinely put in a fight against Arsenal is a very long time. The last 3 games that we've played against them, they have lost all of them, right? 3 consecutive games they have lost. Arsenal do very well on Wednesdays. In our last 11 games on a Wednesday, we've lost 1 game. And in their last 11 games on a Wednesday, Aston Villa have only won 1 game on a Wednesday. Come on, the lads, hit the like button as we hit Aston Villa and Gerrard. My predictions were that Gerrard was going to be the first manager to be sacked in the Premier League. Those clowns at Bournemouth have sacked Scott Parker because he lost to Manchester City, Liverpool and Arsenal respectively. Who does that? You have not given a manager. I don't even want to rant about Bournemouth right now because I'm pissed. Literally, that is spoiling my predictions without even, giving me a chance. Why would you sack? Okay, so guys, Aston Villa will lose this game to Arsenal, and then our focus then will move on to Man United. My name is Kosi. Make sure you follow me on Twitter, Kosi Arsenal, on Instagram, Kosi_19, TikTok, Kosi11, and of course on my favorite and usual podcast on YouTube, Kosi's Arsenal Podcast, 90 more, and Kosi Talks Football. Till next time, see you soon.